All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new DC update, and I didn't have any videos over the weekend. It was Mother's Day weekend here in the States, and I spent the time with family. My wife and I have 4 daughters, and we just kind of did our thing this weekend and spent time with family. So I stepped away from the computer pretty much entirely. But we have some stuff to talk about today. I cannot believe the hypocrisy of the people who will attack Snyder fans, but Gunn is making the same mistakes that people hate Snyder for. And we're going to talk about this today, which is absolutely crazy. But I do have a few pictures to show you, and then we'll kind of wrap it up with my thoughts on what Gunn is doing and how it parallels exactly what Zack Snyder was doing and got lambasted for. So this is going to be absolutely crazy. Now, if you haven't already, I'm going to start mentioning this in all my videos towards the beginning, but it's really important for people to like the video, share them. If you like my channel and you want it to grow, it is important to get those likes on the videos. YouTube will share it more. And if you're so inclined, go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you will be notified as I have new videos go up. All right, so let's take a look at some stuff here. So I really only have 2 photos here for you today, and then we're going to talk about the whole DCU and everything that's going on. Now, these apparently are the 4 individuals who are possibly in talks to play Lois Lane. Specifically, the top 2 are the top contenders. Now, the bottom 2, excuse me, I think personally, Samara Weaving, she looks a little too much like Harley Quinn. The girl who plays Harley Quinn. I don't think she would be good for Lois Lane. The redheaded girl might make a good Batgirl, but I don't see her as Lois Lane. But the reports are saying it's the top 2 girls here. This girl on the right, I don't know her name. It's Rachel Brosnahan, House of Cards. She apparently did an amazing, those are the reports, that she did an amazing job auditioning for Lois Lane. I think Emma Mackey looks a little too much like Margot Kidder, and I would like them to do something a little different if they're going to go that route. And so none of these people, I don't know, personally, I don't think any of them look like Lois Lane to me, but, we'll see what they decide at the end of the day. We should have some announcements on some of the casting come the Comic-Con. Now, everybody seems to like, from my video the other day, that corn sweat guy, and I'm sorry, he just looks too soft to me. So here's the main thing that I wanted to talk about today, is it says, and this does go back to a report that James Gunn had earlier, when this all went down, but it says Superman Legacy will be populated by many faces as it will seek to introduce DC heroes that are already established in the movie's setting. All right, so we need to talk about this here, because this to me is absolutely crazy that they're going to go this route when this was something that was totally, it's what critics hated about Batman vs. Superman, and we're going to talk about this. So when Batman vs. Superman came out, all the critics hated the fact that it had Wonder Woman in there, Batman in there, and that we didn't have solo films for these characters before they launched the whole universe. They said it was a mistake. They wanted to they were looking for them to follow more of Marvel's formula, where they did individual solo films and then went into a team-up film. You heard this. This is one of the main criticisms by everybody who is anti-Snyderverse, anti how this all went down, that some of the solo films came later, and that this was the wrong way to do it, that they needed to establish these characters and this universe first. So what is Gunn doing? He's making this, the universe of these characters is already existing before this movie starts. So there's already going to be a Batman. There's already going to be, probably the Green Lanterns will be around. There's going to be, all of these characters will have already been created, and they're going to be established before the Superman movie starts. And I do remember when Gunn took over that he said, in his films, he was just getting younger characters to play these characters, and that the league will have already been established before the movie even starts. How is this okay? How is it okay for him to do it, but not for someone like Snyder? The amount of hate and just craziness that I see for Snyder is still off the charts. They're blaming everything on Snyder, even today. And he hasn't done anything with a Superman film since Justice League back in 2017. I mean, sure, he had his cut get released, a year and a half ago, but outside of that, he hasn't been involved or directed a movie since 2017. So it's been a good 6 years, but they still continue to blame him. But the funny thing is, it's all the movies after he directed that have nosedived at the box office and done terrible. They just have. Wonder Woman 1984 didn't do well. Birds of Prey didn't do well. The first Shazam didn't do well. Sure, Shazam made a profit, but it also had a super low budget. The second film is the worst performing box office, even behind James Gunn's Suicide Squad. So if their track record tracks, then I would expect to see Zachary Levi back as Shazam. That's just the way they're doing this. It's just the craziest thing on the planet. You can have high-end stuff, but they're choosing to go the cheap route. And so they're going to forego a crap ton of storytelling and have everything shoehorned in to this universe that they are creating. And I even captured something today where James Gunn said that Superman is going to be a very emotional character in the movie, that he's going to be an emotional Superman. What was Henry Cavill? The whole time Henry Cavill was on there, he was going through a struggle. So what makes it okay for Gunn to be doing the exact same things that were already established and already ready to go? Why is it okay for him? Somebody needs to answer that question, because I can't tell you how much hate there is out there. I've never seen anything like it. They call the Snyder fans the cultists, but that's not what I'm seeing online. It does not reflect reality in any way, shape, or form. And so I have a fear that they're going to confuse the audiences as to why has everything changed. Because, if you're talking about the general audience, they only know what they've seen. They're not seeing what's going on behind the scenes. So when the Superman Legacy film comes out, they're going to be like, what the heck? Which leads me to believe that they've done something to the Flash movie and that there's going to be something that nobody sees until the movie actually gets released. That at the very end, when Barry Allen gets back to the normal time, that we're going to see some of these characters in there, which were originally supposed to be, Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck. They were originally supposed to be in the ending, but it looks like now, I'm betting, for this to even have a chance of working right, they're going to have some of those other characters in there, which I think is a dangerous thing to do, to kind of change everything up, because it's pretty much been confirmed that Ezra Miller will continue to play the Flash, and he might be the only guy, and James Gunn's characters from Peacemaker and Suicide Squad. But outside of that, everyone else is going to be different, which again makes no sense. None. No sense whatsoever. I think you're really going to confuse the audiences. I also found it funny over the weekend that James Gunn debunked a whole DC Leaks Twitter account, and this was hilarious. DC Leaks had all these posts that nobody was talking about. They had totally made everything up, and James Gunn came out and told them that they pretty much need to knock it off. One of those was that Thomas, or Christian Hayden Church, or whatever the guy's name is, Thomas Hayden Church, who played Sandman in the Spider-Man movies, that he was actually going to be Superman's father. That he was going to be, I don't think they said Jor-El, but I think he was going to play Kent, if I'm not mistaken. But at any rate, I don't think any of the stuff that they had on their channel was real, and James Gunn called him out. So I thought that was interesting. All right, so there's kind of my DC update for the day. Now, it seems like every time I do an update, something happens right after I get done and there's more information being released. Now, I did post something on Twitter today of my Superman. I'll show you a poster I got exactly 10 years ago for Father's Day. So before I show you that, here's that picture that I was talking about that James Gunn says he doesn't want to deny that Superman is an emotional character in Superman Legacy. To me, this is ridiculous. But let's take a look at, and I love how they show a picture because according to the guys they've chosen, none of them look like this. They all look like very skinny, metrosexual, more feminine type guys. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. So here is the picture that I posted on Twitter. This is my favorite movie poster of all time. I love this scene in the movie. I love the emblem. Man of Steel is an absolute masterpiece. I will tell you, out of Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, I think it is the weakest of the three, simply because I think the end was a little overblown. But I would see them in that order. I think Zack Snyder's Justice League is probably the greatest superhero film that's ever been released. I would put Batman vs. Superman, the Ultimate Edition, behind it, and then Man of Steel before that. I absolutely love this vinyl poster, and it was a gift that I got for Father's Day 10 years ago. That was also the summer that this released. You can see that on June 14th. All right, guys, so there's my update for the day. As more information comes out, I will be doing more videos, and I will be covering everything. We've got The Flash coming up in just a little over a month, and I will be going to see that. As soon as tickets go on sale, I will be getting my tickets, and we'll see if it's as good as they claim it is. All right, we will see you on the next video.